Our fans. We're offending our friends.
You'd be surprised. You know, no matter what group you think, they don't listen.
Yeah.
You know, like fucking 8 of them come up to you to show. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe I made fun of one-legged Jews. Why would I do that? They do listen. So you can't. So you have to just kind of write it off and go, I'm gonna bother some people saying this because there's no way they're never gonna hear you.
Yeah. Have you had a one-legged Jew experience?
A lot.
Yeah? That's cool. Who's like, do you get a lot of like hate on Twitter and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. But it is what it is. I mean, it's you know, it's funny with Twitter and social media because a lot of them come off like they're these hardcore critics and this and that. But it's like a lot of them are just literally, they need the same thing college students need with safe space.
Yeah, right.
Because they can't just come out, and they've gotten mad at me when I've said I despise their anonymity. I don't respect it. Because it's like, look, we're not in fucking communist China, all right? You're not criticizing the regime where you're going to be thrown in jail.
Right. Yeah.
You just want the safe space. You want to weigh in, but you don't want to weigh in as yourself.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of it, but I kind of take it with a grain of salt. But it doesn't mean that it's not legit criticism either. Like I did the chip animation, and some people really loved it, and a lot of people hated it. And you have to weed through hateful comments, like, because a lot of them are just being cunts. But some of them made great points. So you have to like weed through and go, okay, well, that was a really smart criticism.
Yeah.
They're right. This didn't capture Bob, but whatever. You know what I mean? But let's say between reading that, you have to read, you're a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, all you had to say was, this is why I didn't like it, and I actually would have given weight to what you just said.
Yeah. Right. Well, I feel like, I mean, half those people are just mad about the schism, the O&A schism.
Oh, that's a tremendous part of it, yeah.
Why I don't understand taking sides with, like, the end of two grown men's friendship.
You know? It's a weird thing, you know. It's like that's basically what it is. It's like a divorce, and they're really mad.
Well, Dad gave me a better birthday last year, so I like his house more.
They look at it like, and again, I can only speak from what I've heard from them.
Yeah.
But a lot of them come from a place of like, this was a show that. It was a different fan base. It was a very aggressive fan base.
Yeah.
And very.
Well, I remember when
taunting.
When I was a teenager, it was like, wasn't it like a bit, like a pest bit to like blow a fucking air horn in like a local news reporter's ear?
No, that was the one that ended that bit actually. They got sued. Yeah.
Says, let's make somebody fucking deaf.
Yeah, it was just about being stupid and getting their name out there.
Yeah.
But when their show ended, people really did split down the middle because it was frustrating for them to see this thing that they love so much gone. Like one day it was there and one day it was gone. And then when Opie and myself didn't go with Anthony, that's when a lot of the anger came out. Like they were angry immediately that we didn't quit.
Yeah, right.
Which contractually we couldn't have. We would have gotten sued by Sirius. And then when we re-upped with Sirius and didn't go with Ant, I always kind of held out a secret hope that there would be some kind of reconciliation. But as time went on, it became apparent that it would not be.
But the thing I don't understand about the side-taking thing is, like, have you never had a group of friends in your life? I mean, anybody I know knows somebody or knows two different people that fucking hate each other.
Sure. And
they can be friends with both of them. And that's like a social dynamic that everyone has to navigate. And then these people just don't understand that.
I think what bothers them is they looked at it like, these guys are very, and I mean, see, these guys, meaning me too, are very real people. They tell us how things are for them, and they tell us what life is or how they see life. And then all of a sudden, this, as you said, schism, this thing happens, and it's not the way they saw it. They're like, these fucking guys were fake. They didn't tell us that they didn't like each other. They acted like everything was okay. To me, I mean, I was there every day, so I saw a lot of it.
Yeah.
But there were things that came out afterwards that I wasn't even aware of. You know, I didn't know exactly how Opie felt. There were times where he said things were good, and there were times where he said things were bad. So I think the fans, if I'm sitting there and I'm not 100% sure, like there's been a couple things that have happened in the time since the show ended that surprised me.
Yeah.
But then the fans also have to be realistic too. It's like Keith Richards and Mick Jagger really don't like each other.
Yeah. Right.
You know, Kiss didn't like each other for years.
Yeah.
Ozzy and Sabbath didn't get along at one point. It's how it is in a creative collaboration. Right. The difference is when you're hearing music, you're not hearing real opinions on a real-time daily basis.
Yeah.
You're not hearing the fucking recording sessions.
Right.
Where they're yelling at each other. So it's just a different dynamic with talk radio, man. Fans get very attached to it. But the only thing that bothers me about the fans' reaction is the way they've kind of turned on the three of us. And it's like, man, we made you laugh for fucking 10 years.
Yeah.
The guys that hated us all along, that's different.
Yeah.
But it's like all of a sudden to have such vitriolic anger towards guys that made you... Like, I've been pissed off at people who I enjoyed, too.
Yeah.
But I didn't get that vengefully angry at them.
I guess it's kind of like a finding out like wrestling is fake sort of thing.
But it wasn't a fake dynamic.
Right.
It was I mean what you saw, I mean we were trying to be funny, and there was a lot of it they saw before it ended too. But yeah, maybe it is along those lines. They just feel deceived to a certain point. But, you know, it's like I've let more of my personal life hang out than fucking almost anybody in showbiz. Like, what do you want?
Right.
Like, that's what bothers me. It's like, what do you fucking guys want? Like, I've told you more about myself than most performers would have ever told you about themselves. I told you to be funny. I told you in times when there was a slow news day. You know what I mean? I just start spitting shit out.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry if I let you down. What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Half of you don't even use your real names when you yell at us.
Yeah.
I've told you things that most guys would never have told you.
That's like a funny comparison to like the band thing. You know, like I always have had a lot of respect for like the Brian Setzer Orchestra, that he could manage all those people, that band didn't break up. You have that many people and they never had an issue.
Or they never had a visible issue. I'm sure they had them.
Yeah. But you know, how many musicians are there in that band?
I don't even know.
It's a whole orchestra.
Yeah.
And they hold that together. Do you think like Philharmonic orchestras have like first chair violin has a heroin problem?
Yeah.
And they
He
have to
fucks
kick
the
him out.
tuba player's fucks the tuba player's wife.
Yeah.
It probably happens all the time, and they just boot him, and you never know. It's just another jerk off in a tux. There's no attachment. There's no attachment to those people, so you'll never see them coming and going.
Yeah.
You know.
I would love to see a showboating like cello player. Just you gotta keep it together. You can no more. I don't know. Fucking just comes in. Makeup, I don't know, just like spandex.
See, I don't know shit about the orchestra. I'm sorry I took this in this
I'm
direction.
really reaching here.
Yeah,
Why?
I
I mean,
had
the
bow ties,
orchestra's
violins. That's all I really understand.
I had cello. That was it.
Yeah,
I had tuba. I don't think tubas are in orchestras, but I said it.
I'm sure there are once in a while.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's what the rift is. You know, maybe one guy shows up with a tuba because he's better at that, and they're like, we don't need this. Whatever it just happened.
That's how marching bands started. They literally walked out, just didn't stop, just kept going.
Sorry, I'm clearing my throat so much. Just fucking. I realize it's coffee that does it to me. It's not. I don't drink dairy at all, so it's like that fucking thing you get. It's caffeine. I gotta quit caffeine.
Yeah, you're like a diet and exercise guy now, right?
Yeah, but I've been eating like shit lately, so I get self-hatred immediately.
So I remember like 10 years ago, you were never like fat, but you were.
I was a fucking pig.
So you were fat. You were like round.
I'll show you my driver's license photo. I was an oinker. I was a fucking
I would say fat. Yeah, as a fat man, I feel
I
like
was.
I
was.
Yeah,
I was like, really? I was.
You know what? I was probably around the same weight you were, or like the same. Like when I was like 17, I was like a little bit heavier, but I was like, I'm not fat. So yeah, I don't know what like motivated that.
When we were doing Tough Crowd back in this was like 2002, me and Nick DiPaolo had an argument in the and far be it from Nick to say something caustic, but we were in the writers' room fighting. And he's like, you fat fuck. And when he said that, I was like, oh my God, that's something people use at me now when they're mad.
Right.
I must have really put a lot of weight on it. And I still fluctuated up and down for years after that. It was a couple years ago. I just got sick of it. But I found, I was looking through my old hard drive last night, trying to find something to jerk off to that I'd saved. And I saw a picture of myself actually on camera with Janine Garofalo for the first Tough Crowd. I was so fucking fat.
Yeah.
Because we taped those first 8 in November of 2002. And I remember, I think I was in 4 of the first 8. And, was I fucking horrible. That was like almost at my fattest. I was probably like 175 at that point. I think I hit 181 at one point, if I remember right.
Yeah, that's kind of fat, I guess, yeah. Take that back.
That's hilarious, yeah.
That would be pretty big.
What was your fat guy vice? Did you have a specific thing that you did that you just went crazy on?
Food, you mean?
Food-wise, yeah.
No, it was everything.
Yeah.
So I quit smoking in 2001. So I think that was where I just started eating more. And no, I wasn't exercising. I was doing this thing for a long time when we got kicked off the radio, which was, again, 2002, 2003, where I was watching The Sopranos and eating fruit until 4 in the morning. I'd go to the diner and get these this giant like fruit plate with what comes with fruit? Cottage cheese.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that was all fattening and sugar. Fuck, man.
Well, that sucks.
Wow, getting fat from fruit is horrific.
That's the worst way to do it.
That was just one way to do it. I mean, there was other stuff I was eating badly. That was that was like thinking I was being healthy at 2:00 in the morning.
Well, that is pretty healthy. Cottage cheese is like a great, post sleep or pre-sleep meal.
Sugar keeps you up all night. It was really awful.
Yeah, the sugar. Yeah, I guess that's probably bad for you.
I tried to be healthy by ordering a salad yesterday, and I was like, oh, like a chicken salad, and it was just like, I just ordered from a place I'd never gotten. It was like 4 pieces of lettuce and just a chicken cutlet on top of it. And I was like, well, I guess I ate a salad today.
Yeah, you gotta ask for grilled chicken. Yeah, you gotta ask. So I'm the white of vegan. Tell me you're fucking worse than me when I order. I'm horrible. I order everything exactly how I want it.
I went to Joe's by the stand.
Oh yeah,
the fucking place, and I was like, can I get like just a chicken salad? And the guy was like, what, like what you mean, like a chicken salad? I'm like, that's literally, that's what I said. Yeah, let me get a chicken salad. He's like, oh, okay, I guess. And he was like weird about it. And I was like, what the fuck was that? And then they bring it was chicken salad. It wasn't like a chicken
with mayo
salad.
And stuff, right?
With mayonnaise. And it was a giant scoop, like the size of a half a fucking basketball on the plate. And they're like, yeah, it's like $13. He thought I just wanted like 3 pounds of chicken salad.
A handful of chicken salad. Okay, put it in my hand, please. I'll just take
fucking mayonnaise.
Yeah.
No, you got to ask for a regular salad and say, I want grilled chicken on it. That's how you got to order that, because chicken salad, they bring that fucking, like you said, that scoop of mayo. It sucks.
This is excellent content.
I know, it really is. I know. We're just chatting about 3 fucking hens fetching about our weight. Oh, I don't know. It goes right to my hips. I tried the fruit salad. It's delightful. We really should be killed.
Well, I don't know. I guess it's just weird to think that, like, because you seem like, very, like, not obsessive, but, like, detail-oriented, and you got a schedule, and you got to, like, keep things going all the time. So the weight, fitness stuff and, like, the diet stuff makes sense in the context of your personality now. I don't, like, what was your thing before diet and exercise?
I was up. I mean, cause I as much as I talk about escorts and stuff, I really don't do that much at this point. But back then, man, I was in such a manic depression. I was doing like fucking dominatrixes every night, escorts every night, till 3 o'clock in the morning. We did afternoons when I was in MEW, so I was not a morning person.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'd go to bed at 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, get up at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Tough Crowd taped at 3. So we get the topics. I'd write the night before. I'd get up at like noon at the fucking earliest, and then kind of go sluggish to work. So it's like there was no time to exercise. After that, it would be right to work and do gigs and up all night again. So now getting up in the morning kind of helps you be more regimented in life.
Right.
So that's why I hate it, but I like it for that reason. I feel like a real person.
Because you quit drinking, like, young.
I was 18, yeah.
Yeah. Do you regret that at all?
No. I don't.
Regret quitting drinking?
I do. I've been sober for a couple of years, and I don't know why. I don't understand why I'm doing it.
There's times where I was like, hey, smoking pot would be fun. But I learned from the people who... Is that too loud, that thing?
No.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah.
There's times where I crave it. Like, wow, that'd be fun. But then I look at people who are wrecking their careers with it, and I'm like, no, it wouldn't be. Because I'm the guy who wrecks his career with it. Joe Rogan fucking eats pot and then practices jujitsu. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy that fucking eats pot and then succeeds. I'm the guy who smokes pot and does nothing.
I don't really have a career to wreck. So, I mean, it's kind of just like, I just haven't had fun in the last 3.5 years. I guess things have gone better for me.
Things are definitely better. You used to live with a... clown rape victim from the army in a closet in Baltimore. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was your life. You worked you were a part-time, what were you, a telemarketer for a symphony?
Yeah. Oh, you
don't think your life is better since you quit drinking?
Now I look worse for not knowing shit about the orchestra when I actually...
Oh, yeah, you're telemarketer.
I worked for the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra. I was like a telefunder for them. I worked in the basement at nights, and I would like call old people and beg them for money for the orchestra.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and I lived with a clown that had PTSD from when he was raped in the army. So he would like fucking wake up in the middle of the night hyperventilating and screaming and then throwing his clown shit all over the fucking... Yeah.
Who raped him?
Another clown, I guess.
It was in clown college.
Other soldiers. That was the story, yeah.
Wow.
You rushed a clown fraternity
but,
and they raped him.
And it's shitty, I know, like, believe victims or whatever, but I don't think it just didn't make sense.
Yeah, there's times where victims are lying too. I mean, just because they're victims or they say they're victims, everyone's not a victim just because they say they are.
Yeah, I mean, the story, the way he told it is like he was coming out of surgery at like age 47, and he like one of the orderlies in the hospital looked creepy, and then he had like a flashback to like, oh yeah, when I was in the army I got raped. But there's, repressed memories is kind of like a bunk science. A lot of that's just like suggestion, on the part of a therapist.
It can be, yeah. Although I know cases where it's really come back, where your mind shuts down and fucking, because you're protecting the person, or protecting someone who abused you or whatever, or protecting yourself from it. It's a good time for
you do that bit though about your friend with the Star Wars cards or the Star Wars toys?
Yeah, my friend who got I think molested by the fucking security guard. He pulled his dick out to show him that he didn't have any Star Wars. So that's a true story.
Yeah.
Came back with the Star Wars Corvettes, white trash department store in New Jersey. And I just forgot it for years. But I didn't repress that or wipe it out. It might have just been unpleasant or scary, and I walked away from it.
Right.
But I wasn't the one who was abused. He didn't ask to see my dick. He asked to see my friend's dick.
Well, it's like the satanic ritual.
Being thorough, honestly,
the satanic ritual abuse like scandals in the 80s. They have all these kids where they're like, and then did he, and you can say no, but did he bend you over and fuck you in the ass and pull your hair, and then the kid's like, yes. They're just like playing with a truck and not even looking at the investigator. And like, most of those people recanted. But there was like one or two, like if you watch, Capturing the Friedmans, I think there's like one guy that's like, no, he did it. He's still convinced that it happened.
Yeah, that's a very weird thing with repressed memories in childhood, like the McMartin preschool. You know what I mean? The whole thing was a...
I don't know that story.
Oh, it's a really huge story. Look up the McMartin preschool with the power of suggestion. Yeah. A bunch of kids said that these teachers molested them. Yeah. But in hindsight, it looks like they really didn't.
Yeah. Well, that's what. Yeah. But this case was. Did you see Capturing the Friedmans?
I did. Yeah. He was one of those guys was at the Comedy Cellar one night.
Oh, really?
After they're doing the documentary.
One of the victims or one of the Friedmans?
One of the Friedmans.
Oh. Okay.
I think.
Did you ask him if he did it?
Don't remember. I don't remember.
It usually be great if like you just conspired with everyone in there that was there that night to be like, he raped all of us. He came in and he raped everybody.
He came into the cellar.
I don't think we knew he was there when I was on, or I don't remember if I knew he was on. God fucking damn. Do you guys talk? I'm gonna open my washer thing because that's gonna beep and annoy the shit out of me.
Look at Mr. Wears Clothes over here.
Yeah, he's got his own washer.
Clothes. So how do you feel about this, Stav? How's it going?
Pretty good. I think we could pick it up probably.
Yeah.
I want to ask about dominatrixes probably next in a second.
That would be a good idea. We could do that. We always talk more about Brachy.
We probably could have gotten more into Baltimore. That weird period of time in Baltimore. Where you were a big-time alcoholic and you were...
I mean, I was a big-time alcoholic, for years.
Yeah, well, but I knew you then when you were...
Yeah.
There's plenty of...
Oh,
this is a nice little mid-podcast check-in.
It is a good mid-podcast check-in. This apartment is so nice. I'm like, just so relaxed.
Incredible.
We usually do it in your shitty office, where I'm thinking about getting all that free cereal. Right. That woman so badly wanted to kick me out last week.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me, who are you here with? She asked me that like 3 times.
They barely want me there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He has this fucking dumb job at this office in Midtown. So you can tell him. I guess.
Yeah, I work for this company. They're trying to do a comedy. They're trying to launch a comedy site, but the rest of it is all clickbait. Like they all do, just the worst parts of the internet.
Yeah,
They're just ripping off anything that's successful. They just do their own version, and it makes the sad part is that's what makes the most money. It's not original content. It's just taking other ideas and retreading them. But most of the people there are just like it's coders, it's advertising people, it's like professional people, and it's like
the company is like what are their main thing is like programmatic ad sales or something. It's an advertising company, and then I think what their main thing is they find like media outlets or websites, and then they tailor like ad content for those sites.
Oh.
But then to make more money, they said, well, why don't we have our own proprietary sites,
right? And
then put the ads on there, and then one of them is like an onion or like
and then they're turning into a comedy. But whatever. That what matters is that most of the people there are real people with real fucking jobs and shit. And then we come in every once in a while with dog T-shirts, and Mullen's wearing a Mountain Dew sleeveless tee, and they're just trying to kick us out. We do the podcast there, and it's like clearly we don't belong there. Clearly this is we're the people that are just working for the comedy site and doing a Cum podcast in one of their conference rooms.
But I'm surprised with the internet and stuff. There's so many people that work on it that don't wear a suit and a tie. Like I'm surprised they're not used to that dynamic of, somebody who's different or odd coming in. I mean, it's not that uncommon with the fucking web.
Well, it's mostly because like I'm screaming in the kitchen or whatever. Yeah, she got mad at me because Adam said that Adam told this story about he's like the other guy we do this podcast with. Adam was like watching. Because now his friends listen. I can't tell his. Well, whatever. He said he overheard like some girl. He's watching like Game of Thrones with some girl, and the episode ends, and the girl was like, "It's just so cool that we like all get to be a part of this like cultural event together." It's like a cultural movement. She was referring to Game of Thrones as like a cultural movement. And then, we were like making fun of her in the kitchen or whatever. And I was like, yeah, like, how like Dr. Martin Luther King wrote Game of Thrones. And the receptionist was like, she's like a black lady. Yeah. And I saw her like fucking snap and look at me as soon as I said Dr. Martin Luther King.
You're just taking free cereal. It's 6 p.m. You're loading up on their breakfast cereal that they have there and eating and drinking coffee.
That Special K they have there. And she asked me like 3 times. She's like, who are you here with? Does he know you're here? And almost kicked me out. I want to ask you this about, because about like, I guess, prostitutes and stuff. Because somebody told me, do you know what FinDom is?
Financial domination.
Yeah. Somebody told me yesterday that's not real.
It's real.
Like a grizzled vet. Of course, I know.
But that there's no real market for it. But people do that for real?
There are, of course, there's guys. I used to date a dominatrix. There are guys that love that. They absolutely is real. I'm not saying it's a big fetish, but there's a lot of guys that love opening their wallet. It's probably more wishful thinking on the part of the dominatrixes too.
Yeah.
But there are guys that love that type of humiliation. I don't get it. At all. I don't do it. I think it's stupid.
Right. Yeah.
I'm tactile. I need a fucking ass on my face. I got to smell it.
That's how most people are.
Yeah.
Well, that's coming.
That's what I don't get about when a dominatrix. It's like they just like treat you bad, and then look, do whatever you want at first. Treat me like shit, whatever. But at some point, I want to come.
Sure. Yeah, right.
That's where.
Well, at the end of the day, with the FinDom shit, you're still beating off, and if you're beating off, then it's like a fantasy, and then it's like, why don't you just fantasize about someone taking your money?
It's not enough anymore.
You keep the money.
No, it's progression. It's not enough. How come you don't just drink 1 beer? Well, because 8 is what I need now. That's how it is with this shit. See. It doesn't feel good anymore. Got to keep upping the ante a little bit. Got to do this. FinDom does nothing for me. I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but it's stupid to me.
Yeah, no, because there's this girl that hates Kurt, that went after Kurt, who just like a nut job internet person, and she does FinDom now, I guess, because she couldn't get a job writing. But someone was telling me that there's no way that she actually has a job doing that, because no one will.
Wait, she does financial domination?
But online, where she just like texts you like, "Fuck you, pig." And then apparently men give her money for that.
What?
Yeah, it's a weird thing with, there are guys that like to be, like if you would have told me at one point in my life that I would ever get turned on by a woman putting her feet in my face while I jerked off, I would have thought you were nutty. But,
so you grew into feet.
Yeah. I never liked it. When I did my ex-girlfriend who was a dominatrix, had beautiful size 8 feet, never cared about them. Never. It was something that happened after.
A recent development.
Yeah, it was one of those things where you just get bored and you move on. So financial domination is probably one of those things where guys who love just having hookers say, open your wallet.
Yeah.
Or dominatrix say, open your fucking wallet, worthless.
Yeah.
Lick my feet, worthless. Just a way of feeling worthless and used and shitty. Probably guys like judges and fucking hedge fund guys.
Right.
And guys that get whatever they want.
That's weird. And now I have to worry about that I might turn into one of those guys. My dad, at age like 60, got into trains. And it was so fucking embarrassing.
Hope you didn't want to be the middle. two darker studs.
Well, no, really. Like it was like his like 63rd birthday, and he's like, "Yeah, my wife took me up to some bullshit town in Pennsylvania to go see a train." And then he's like got videos of the train on his like phone.
I swear to God, I thought you meant threesomes.
Yeah, no.
I swear to God, I thought you meant threesomes.
Why would I be ashamed of that?
It's more embarrassing to be into
Lionel trains.
Yeah, no, he became like a railroad fan at age 63 after like I had spent 15 years making fun of those people on the internet.
Your dad turned autistic at 63.
And those are just in your genes.
He just likes to look at trains.
He just likes trains. Yeah, he enjoys looking at trains. He used to. Oh man, one time he used to wake up So his wife doesn't let him do anything. He's not allowed to have like friends. One time he used to like wake up at like 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning, and like go out into like where his like laptop is by the kitchen area in the apartment, and like quietly look at model cars on eBay. Like slot cars and stuff that he wasn't allowed to buy. His wife wouldn't let him have anything, but he would just look at these collectibles that he would have if he could. But he had to sneak out into the computer area to do that.
Why?
I don't know, because his life's shit.
You don't like her?
No, she's great, actually. She was a nightmare when I was a teenager, but like now that I'm an adult and she doesn't have any control over me, she's a lot of fun.
Right, okay.
Yeah. She's like, we went to my grandmother's funeral like 2 months ago, and she's like, well, I gotta stop to get, and she gets those little like, those tiny liquor bottles so she can get drunk
Flu
at
shots.
the funeral. Yeah. She's yelling like, fuck you to everybody, and everyone's like horrified.
Oh, wow.
It's just funny. I think it's, she's
Once
like
you're out of it, it's fun to watch from a distance.
It's not my funeral. I don't give a shit, Let her ruin it.
Is your dad embarrassed by her? Is he like one of those codependents who's like, oh, she's just grieving, or is he?
It's not. It was his mom. Yeah, it wasn't. He was the one who was grieving. She was just drinking.
So she was just being an asshole?
I guess, yeah, a little bit. I don't know how I mean, they're not. Well, I mean, maybe they're happy. Who fucking knows? They've been together forever now.
Right.
But
at a certain point, it's like, what are you gonna do?
Right.
When you're like, 60, whatever.
Yeah.
What are you gonna start a new life?
Yeah, it's hard when you're older.
Yeah.
I feel bad for older women. I think older guys have a shot. We can always go out and find somebody.
Right.
But if you're like in your fucking late 50s, early 60s with 2 kids,
you don't have a shot if you're like 63 years old and you just like trains.
Yeah, that does knock
you
down the
having
odds.
money. You're just a guy who likes trains.
Yeah. You're knocking a lot of pussy off the auction block when you fucking come with that.
Yeah, the only woman he can fuck are the women that are tied up on the tracks. And rescue.
Oh man.
So usually we take a break right around now.
You break on your podcast?
Yeah.
Why do you break?
Just because it like offers people like a split. If you do like a 30-minute chunk, people listen to 30 minutes if they're like, I don't know. I've read it.
Where are we at time-wise?
About 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. We'll take a quick break.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Take a quick break.
Do you do any ads?
No, we do like a Patreon where people can just like donate.
Okay.
It's like a monthly donation.
Do they donate?
Thing. Yeah, now we're getting like, I don't know, $90, $100.
That's nice.
Yeah. My friend started a podcast like 2 months ago, and that's where I got the idea for the Patreon thing. And I checked yesterday to see how much money they're making off donations to their podcast. And do you want to guess?
Is it a good podcast?
Yeah, it's a good podcast.
$1,000 a month?
No. It's just shy of like $8,000 a month.
Wow.
For like a podcast off like donations. That's good. That's insane. Well,
if we were smart, because they're
smart guys. Yeah, they do like
they
know about fucking Syria and
journalism and shit like that.
Yeah, we're not like we don't really know stuff.
Yeah, we barely can keep a conversation going.
Right, perfect. So we'll take a break. Sure. And then here's the thing: either we'll decide like if we're having a good time, we'll like continue, or like we'll just get Adam for the second half.
Oh, a teaser.
Yeah. So take a break and we'll be back.
They say you can't say that.
So you want to film right now?
Well, Shasta McNasty is saying it.
So you want a brofish? Does she have a sister?
People say don't do that.
Give him breast implants.
We say do the McNasty. Shasta McNasty. The WWF's Big Show and Cindy Margolis guest star on the series premiere.
You want to play in her sandbox, you're going to trade in that little digger for a steam shovel, baby.
A full hour beginning at 8, 7 Central, UPN Tuesday.
Okay, we're back, and Jim Norton is gone. Stav's fault, mainly.
No, he loved me.
We recorded a second half with Jim, and then the recorder shut off because I didn't change the batteries, and
I think there was like a rape override. We talked about rape for too long.
We talked about a bunch of shit for too long.
It was bad.
Yeah,
it was fucking terrible.
It's probably better that it got erased, but it
we really
shut
sucked.
off, and then I didn't know what to do, so I panicked and just pretended like it was still on for a while.
That's right. Because at the end, you were like, "Oh no, it doesn't work."
Yeah. But hopefully Jim won't listen to this. He won't find out.
No chance he listens.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he even knows the name of the podcast.
Didn't ask. Didn't at all.
Yeah. No, we really fucked that one up. That was like a big.
I know we should have done some work
for us.
It was a big guest, and we kind of ruined it by.
We had no.
We had nothing.
We had nothing prepared. We just
Yeah.
like less prepared than when we do it with you, Adam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
but we're friends. We can't be like, "Hey Jim, do you know about Dr. Evil?" So, all right, we're gonna pretend that I'm Dr. Evil, and you need to react to it as if I actually were.
I mean, what was just like you didn't have anything to talk about with him, or?
Yeah, no, not. I mean, there's plenty of shit to talk about. It's just like we want to just say dumb shit.
yeah.
And I don't know if he was on board with that.
Yeah. No.
He was
not
just like
not at all.
answering earnestly, and
It was like he was having like a really nice. We talked about like actually that's probably gonna stay in the first one, huh?
yeah.
The people already listened to. We talked about like dieting.
Yeah,
and shit
it
like
was 27 minutes of talking about chicken salad and the best what you have to do to order chicken salad at Joe's. I told a great anecdote about going to Joe's on 3rd Avenue, and I asked for a chicken salad.
Oh yeah.
And the guy was like, "Hey, what do you mean?" I'm telling literally the same story.
People just listened to
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
by the way. So they're
Adam
just gonna
wasn't
hear
here.
it.
I was
I mean,
Adam.
I mean, now you're telling me the story. So,
Oh,
like,
that's right. I'm sorry.
So a
Felix
whole new
in the
bit.
studio.
Yeah, we
yeah,
have
yeah,
Felix
yeah.
Biederman from
Rattlesnake.
Chapo Trap House,
Yeah.
honorary Puerto Rican rattlesnake.
That's
Felix
right.
Biederman and Adam.
Of course.
I'm back.
Adam, the Puerto Rican rattlesnake.
And I'm
Has
actually
returned.
I'm Sherrod Vroshalkius.
Yeah, Sherrod's
The black-
Sherrod Rosalkius,
The Black Rican
the
rattlesnake.
Black Rican rattlesnake from Race Wars.
Spin-off. The spin-off.
Stav told me he had a racial awakening on his way here.
That's absolutely right. Yep. I'm a Black Rican now.
Yeah, we're actually now live at the Anthony Cumia Studios 2 in Bed-Stuy.
Bedside.
And believe it or not, Anthony's not actually allowed in this neighborhood. So we have to Skype him in whenever he tells us how to decorate the studio, because he wants it to look just like the top of the Empire State Building, where his real studio is.
Oh man.
He likes
So,
he likes
yeah.
to just stand on the balcony and just say the N-word. a
Yeah,
lot.
so this whole place is filled with lawn jockeys, a lot of blackface art. The way Anthony wants
the
it.
Al Jolson wing of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
studio.
All of his concealed carry permits adorn the walls.
Oh god.
African masks with darts in them.
I think the thing that sums up the studio is the graphic that reads right when you walk in. Have you ever tried counting to 6 million? And it like really makes you think, and you're like, no,
It's
I
too
haven't
big of a
actually.
number. How could a number be that big?
I agree.
He said
so
he
true.
said that Mr. Show sketch with the highest number, but with the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next guy to add one number to another number is gonna hear from my 45. That's such a good sketch. But boss.
Oh man, the pitch for that sketch must have made absolutely no sense.
I mean, most of
Most of those,
most
yeah.
of
Yeah, I
their
guess
sketches
so.
were
Pretty
like
crazy.
that. That's what made it such a funny show, is that they were just trying to be funny.
Also, the fact that they kind of circumnavigated the fact that it's really hard to end a sketch.
Yeah.
by
Oh
just-
yeah, that was
by
genius.
just blowing it up
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
like mash it or what?
Right, right,
I'm
right.
trying
fading
to.
into the
I'm
next
trying.
sketch.
Maybe you guys can help me with this. Stav's company pays $50 for anyone who can come up with a sketch. Doesn't matter if you're homeless.
It's true.
It doesn't matter
100%.
if you're illiterate.
Yeah.
I
If you
did get that $50 for an anonymous sketch.
That's
that
right.
I
It's
wrote.
it's dropping this week, baby.
Is
Well, I
it?
wanna
Yeah,
do-
stoked to
yeah.
see it. Yeah.
Here's what I need to. We need to riff this one out. Maybe we can just do it on the podcast and then sell the idea. Yeah. So it's Jurassic Park, but Attenborough is like, we can bring back the dinosaurs, and then we can fuck them. And he just wants to fuck the dinosaurs. Says, can you? Yeah, yeah. You do the song.
That's pretty much all we got.
love
so
it,
It's
far.
like,
dude.
well, no, okay. So the mosquito, it's sealed in cum, and he
I
says
love
this
it.
proves that even the tiniest of creatures can be fucked.
I love it.
Yeah.
Something about maybe getting pissed on by a hot, thick
Yeah.
stream of Brontosaurus piss.
Yeah, being pissed on by Brian. Have you imagined eating the asshole of a brontosaurus as it unloads tons and tons of waste of foliage into your mouth. And he just wants to fuck the dinosaurs. Maybe Chris Pratt knows how to jack off velociraptors.
That's
he's the only guy that can
really
do
cool
it.
though.
Yeah.
He
He knows,
really cool.
he's got a cool I'm not fat anymore style of
He's an
jacking
action
off the
star.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
appreciate that. That guy betrayed us.
Can you
dude.
imagine how good he is at giving head? You know, because like
yeah.
fat people are good at giving head.
Hell yeah, dude! I eat
Because
pussy
they like
a
to
champion.
eat. That's my favorite.
I know.
Yeah. You know what they say about fat girls, dude? Is they're better at giving head because they like eating. You know those guys?
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, because that's
They
how you suck
do.
a
You get
dick.
nourishment
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That's the way you eat things, is by sucking it off.
Classic.
So what?
Speaking of getting sucked off or jerked off, somebody has a little story.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
tell the story.
Ooh.
Somebody got their little.
Should I?
Yeah, absolutely. I already told everybody. So
You said it during the first half?
no, but I've been
we
telling
should've.
people.
Yeah.
I got a massage, full service massage.
What happened, dude?
That's when you
Fill
get
me
jerked
in.
off in Jersey.
Yeah.
It's a full service massage.
Yeah, they actually don't let you jack off by yourself in Jersey.
Yeah.
It's a big problem they have. The
They
union,
pump the gas
u-
and they jack
the
you off.
union is too strong.
I had a slight headache. I was walking down Canal Street at about 5 in the afternoon a couple weeks ago. And I had my back hurt because I had my laptop in my backpack, and I
Oh,
saw
sure.
a massage $25.
Nice.
So I was
25.
like, that's $25, 30 minutes.
Where was
Good
this
deal.
place? Tell me off air.
On Canal.
Canal and what? We'll talk about
There's
it.
like
next to the
35
TD
of these
Bank.
places on Canal.
There's like 100. Yeah, yeah.
Every single one of those places where they
Will beat
have
you
like
off.
a discount massage, they'll jack you off.
the best part
Yeah,
of it.
give us the,
The
whole
best part of
experience.
it is like she's like, you want hard or soft? And I was like, hard. And so she just starts walking on my back, and it hurt. It's
Ugh.
like very uncomfortable. It was a terrible massage. She actually fucked up my back for like 4 days.
That's hilarious.
But
but she jerked you off.
she like
so wait, you
turns
go
me
there.
over.
You think you're gonna get beat off or no?
I didn't? It really wasn't in the front of my mind.
You had an inkling though.
I was.
If it happens, it happens. Listen to this motherfucker. Oh, I don't know if this $25 massage place will beat me off in the basement of a fucking shoe store.
Yeah.
This
next
is
to
like
a-
that Jim Carrey movie where he can't say no.
Yes.
It's Adam's version of it.
Liar.
No, there was another one that was just like
Yes
basically
Man,
ripping
Yes
off
Man, yeah,
Liar
yeah.
Liar. Yeah, yes man.
How did he make that movie?
Well,
twice?
I mean, I
Good for him.
consider Liar Liar the Quran and Yes Man like the Hadith.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it
there you go.
expanded on the lessons of that movie.
Exactly. The best part was she's like, okay, hand or mouth with condom. And I was like, I don't. My sister listens. Okay, whatever.
too late now,
It's too
dude.
late. All right. When I was 19, I was in Israel in a strip
You're worried
club.
about your sister hearing about sex on the Cum Podcast.
Yeah, that's true. I was in Israel at a strip club. There was this Russian woman with braces and fake tits, and
Nice.
she had a necklace on that said "sex" on it.
Oh, where do you get that necklace?
It's just a
Fuck.
sex. And I was there with like
It came with the
boys.
braces. You got it at the orthodontist.
I was on my occupation tour with my friends.
course.
And
You were
just
there to
boys,
steal the rightful
right?
land of
Yeah,
Palestinians.
just like and lap dances were 20 shekels.
I love
which
it.
is like $5. And we're getting like a ton of lap
I love that
dances.
you're
it was a-
complaining about the
Yeah.
price of.
No. He's
of
talking
lap
about what a
dances.
bargain it is, dude.
Oh, all
Incredible.
He's
Incredible
Jewing it
deal.
up even further.
I'm sorry.
It was
There's no
only
way-
20
there's no way-
shekels.
Yeah, there's no way a Jew can complain about or mention the cost of something without it sounding like a complaint.
That's where all that like Sheldon Adelson money goes. It goes to subsidize strippers for birthright.
That's
We'll pay
actually,
for $15 of the lap dance.
That's actually pretty smart.
I know. I was. Anyway,
Yeah.
she's like, you want private room? So I went, and she was like, blowjob with condom, 200 shekel.
Ooh.
And I was just
nice.
like, which is like,
And you talked her down?
$50. And I had I had my meal stipend thing for the month. Like the program gave us a meal stipend,
Yeah.
and I had literally had an envelope of cash in it. And I like fumbled through it. I just
so
like
good.
handed her the cash, and I got a blowjob with a condom. Came in 3 minutes.
That's
maybe
insane
less.
to me.
Maybe
Go
less.
ahead. Okay.
And
Well,
then
because the braces tear it off immediately.
Yeah. Smart.
She knows what she's
That's
doing.
less time than it takes for the Iron Dome to block a missile.
Exactly. Same technology.
Yeah, that's
Same
what. That's
technology.
actually they call that braces blowjob prostitute. Iron Dome. That's her nickname.
There he is. There's the mole dog.
Oh God, this is so extremely online. This is so good. Oh,
Yeah, well, I love getting Iron Dome. Yeah,
dude, it was Iron Dome.
I love getting Iron Dome from retarded girls. Yeah,
Yeah,
Felt
she mouth
horrible.
retarded.
her mouth retarded as hell, dog.
left my entire meal stipend for the month
In this
that-
girl's mouth.
in that in that strip club.
That's hilarious.
And I starved. Literally for a month, I would eat at 5 o'clock once a day.
Yeah.
I'd wait to
Ironic.
eat.
That's like Ramadan.
I'd eat at 5. It was like my Jewish Ramadan. Anyway, I felt horrible about the whole thing.
Yeah. Fast forward.
Fast forward 2 weeks ago, she turns me over. She's like, $50.
So you're fully nude?
She pulls. No, not yet. I'm in my boxers.
Okay.
That's the point of the story. That's the funniest part of the whole story. But,
What's this person
sorry,
look like,
but-
by the way?
what's that?
How are we looking? What does she look like?
You know, I don't want to do the accent, but
Do the
she's
accent.
a Chinese woman. She's
Do
like,
it.
But is she hot? Is what I'm getting at here.
she was attractive.
I know that
Yeah?
people can't see this because this is a podcast, but Adam just put on a straw hat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and he's really stretching his eyes.
All right,
He's got
let's-
tape all over the place.
All right, gong sound, doodle doodle doo 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 doo. We're in the massage parlor. So she says, "Do you want to touch me?" And I was like, "Okay." So she takes my hand, puts it up her shirt, and I'm just like squeezing her boob. I'm like, "Okay, this
Okay,
is
that's
cool."
not bad. And she was
And
hot.
She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay, hand or mouth." And I was like, "I'm not gonna go for mouth with condom. I think I'm gonna go hand." This is an expert
Okay.
practitioner.
I see what you're saying. You're thinking she's much better at.
I've never gotten a good hand job in my life.
I'll agree
I
with
Not
haven't
that.
even
either,
from,
yeah.
Not even from me. Yeah, I abuse my shit.
You don't have a good
She
technique down?
She did 50 million times better than I've ever done.
So she's a pro.
incredible.
Oh, that's
But the
great.
best part was I was wearing my boxers. She pulled down my boxers and she looks at my dick and then she looks up at me and she goes, like it was the biggest dick she'd ever
That's
seen
so
in my entire
funny.
life. And I was like,
Your
oh,
entire-
come on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Please.
I
And
hate
she's
that.
like, it's so big.
Dude, a
And
girl
was
I
like,
hooked up
no,
with-
it is not.
A girl like that was doing the same shit. She was like, "Oh my god, it's so big."
my-
Just like pretending to choke on my. It's like, listen, I've had my dick for a very long time. I know exactly how big my dick is. It is not a big fucking dick. She was doing fake gagging, dude. It was so embarrassing. I was embarrassed for both of us.
She was actually just gagging.
Yeah.
From Repul-
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, what
She
the
was disgusting.
fuck?
Anyway, I left. I
So
came
she-
super quick. Also, she
she
was
beat you
incredible.
off like
she beat
a
me off.
champ?
It was amazing.
How much does the whole shebang run you?
It was $75. I left and I was just like so mad at myself. I was like, New York City, you've done it again. You just fucking vacuumed $75 out of my pocket.
Whatever, man. It's a
Like
fun
that could have been a
experience.
decent pair of pants. Could have lasted me a
true.
couple years.
That's true.
And I just fucking paid for sex work. Nothing. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Right? That's legit. And then I told the girl that I was used to be dating. I'm not dating her anymore. But and she was like so mad
You
at me.
told the girl you used to be dating that you got beat off?
Yeah, we had like an
Yeah.
open thing.
That you
like-
paid to get jacked off by someone that looks exactly like her.
So she was like,
What her life would be like if her parents didn't
but
come
I
over.
thought like it was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this progressive thing where she's like, yeah, I want to fuck other people too.
Yeah, that's totally a Bernie Sanders move, dude.
Yeah. It's so Bernie. She does cam work, or she did cam work. So I didn't think that it was like a big deal to her. And she's like, "You're disgusting." That's disgusting.
Interesting.
I don't feel bad about
Is cam
it,
work
though.
bad though? I feel like you have to because we live in the future now.
Yeah, you
know?
have to beat off.
That's
on
like the
cam.
new way to fuck.
I
Like,
would. I
feel
would
like-
love if my dick was bigger. I would beat off on with a luchador mask on.
You don't have to have a big dick, dude. You already have all those Instagram followers.
That's true.
A
A lot of
just
gay men
send a
want to
link.
fuck me.
Yeah,
A
you
lot
can
of-
just-
Send a
yeah,
link.
There was
They-
a guy I saw on Chatterbait one time who had to be like 89 years old. he looked like
what a start of a sentence.
Yeah.
There was a guy I saw on Chatterbait one time.
he's this old ass man.
Wait, how does
bald.
Chatterbait work?
It's people just jack
randomly
off
you
on
get
camera.
paired with
Yeah,
people
yeah,
jacking
it's
off.
No, that's chat roulette. Chatterbait is
That's
like
also
it's a
LinkedIn
gallery.
Premium.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a gallery. You can choose somebody to watch masturbate
you
or whatever.
watched an 89-year-old man beat off.
Yeah, I was like, look how old this man is.
I mean, there's a market for everything on camera.
yeah.
Like that's half of bodybuilders support themselves by like jacking off on their stuff. That's how they buy Anavar.
Really?
Is they
No
do gay for
shit.
pay stuff.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, dude.
There's actually a separate room in GNC where you can do all that for supplements.
But when Arnold to raise money to come to America, Arnold's dad actually just recorded himself jacking off on an 8mm, distributed it like over the Iron Curtain.
Oh God. He's a cop, you idiot.
Well, that guy, guy,
yeah.
he was like 89 years old. Big long white beard. He looked like the Giver. You know the cover of the Giver.
Yeah.
He looked like that guy.
Like Walt Whitman.
Yeah. He looked like Walt Whitman.
Walt Whitman fucked kids, right?
Yeah, less
boys.
of a sexual deviant than the actual Walt Whitman. This was just a guy that jacked off on camera instead of on little boys' faces. And he's got like this distended belly. And like just like an old fucking ass man. He's got nipple clamps, and he's like hitting his dick with shit, and he's jacking off, and he just seemed to be having like a great time. And I'm like, you know what? Good for him.
Right.
He figured out the computer. He's like, living an active life. This isn't like, it's not deviant if he's like, like his family's probably like, yeah, Grandpa loves the computer that we got him. They're like, yeah, he's using the camera to keep in touch with friends from the war.
He's Skyping all
He
over.
loves Skype. He's just on Skype all the time. He doesn't really use any of the email software we got him, but he loves that camera. So, he's holding out.
Oh my God. Have you guys ever tried to have Skype sex before?
I have. It's terrible.
I have.
So bad.
You just feel silly. Like you like see yourself in the
You
little
see
box
the
jacking
little
off, and
corner.
you're like, I
Just
didn't.
your mangled face, just
Yeah.
like beating off.
Oh no,
doing
I get a
it.
top angle of my dick and I angle it down so that my dick looks good.
No, I'd go.
You're like the
I go
Terrence Malick of
asshole.
jacking off.
Just trees and leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a lens flare coming out of the
There's
back
a
of my
Jessica
dick.
Chastain voiceover. I don't know what I gave you.
Yeah, I only do it in 70 millimeter. 70 millimeter.
The
BO
light
film.
is
Louis-
just exquisite.
Yeah.
I mean, Louis C.K. is really adamant about using a red box for his jack-off footage.
Yeah. When he does it in front of women without their consent, they're bringing
Yeah.
that back. That's coming back.
It's coming
Roseanne
back
was
now?
Yeah,
talking about
Roseanne
it.
was talking about.
Who
it.
was it? Jen Kirkman that said that?
Yeah, apparently she said it and then deleted it. She said that she either said that he did it to her or brought up the allegations and then deleted the tweet.
Interesting.
That he's just like a subway jack offer, like, but he doesn't know.
I guess he does it in his hotel room. He dresses his hotel room up like a subway station and then invites people. No, you got to swipe. You got to swipe to get in.
That's he's an autistic pervert because he has to incorporate trains.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I don't know. I mean, it seems like from what I've heard, there's been no like substantial claim. It might be a thing he likes to do consensually, is beat off in front of people. But if that's a thing, then that's just like kink shaming.
Yeah.
Whatever. He's the president of comedy.
Well, I don't know.
Yes.
I mean, if he's doing that,
Sounds
here's
like we
here's
should
the, here's
start
where
doing this.
here's my stance. If he's doing that against people's will, I'm against it. So
Of
sorry,
course.
guys.
Well, even then, I
Wow,
mean, he is a
stop.
very good
Yeah,
comedian.
sorry, guys.
Dude,
I'm
you're
against
really taking a
forms of
stand
sexual
today.
assault. Sorry.
You're coming out firing shots.
That's
at
the kind of
Louis
guy I am.
CK. Wow.
Well, hold on. I didn't say. I said if. But
What other? Remember, there was that one comedian, Champion. That guy, was it Vince Champion?
the clean guy who was also like a rapist and murderer.
No, now I'm just accusing Vince Champion of being the rapist. There was a guy that was like on the
the
road.
Champion brothers from DC. Those guys.
Yeah, the
No,
Champion
there's like
brothers.
4 or
Those guys
5.
are-
When I
comics.
watch porn, do you remember that bit?
They had this very anti-gay bit. What was it? Do you remember?
Dude, this guy had a pro porn bit, which was incredible.
I don't remember.
It made no sense. He's like, when I watch porn, I ain't trying to hurt nobody.
Yeah, they were great.
There was a guy doing anti-gay bits at Caroline's the other night. Remember that? That guy that was like, just don't do it around me.
Who, Mateo?
No, yeah, it was Mateo.
Yeah.
Well, in my defense, it was open mic night.
There was a guy, I remember, did I talk about Big Ron on the podcast before?
No.
I don't know if it was, I think that was his name. Big Ron,
Were you
Big
saying
Ronnie
something
or
though? Did
something.
we cut you off? I don't remember.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I don't know, probably.
Whatever. Who
You
cares?
do that shit all the fucking time, dude.
Huh?
We're going to beef about it.
I do?
No. I mean him. Adam does
Adam
it.
does.
Yo,
Yeah.
let's blaze it.
Adam's the cut off.
Yeah. No, there was this guy that used to go to Japanese. He would do the mic at Japanese.
Oh, what a shit.
That sushi restaurant where the light was just Ian Salmon like drunkenly holding up a candle at you.
Oh, Ian Salmon.
Yeah. Who would do 35 minutes in between every comic. But yeah, no, this guy Big Ron, he came in and he's like, immediately like, I don't write down shit. I never write down shit. It's all, improvisational. I'm like saying things off the top of my mind. And so he goes up and it's like a nice restaurant. And then he's talking about like, in jail, you think that hearing people being raped would be bad, but it's not that. It's when you hear a motherfucker getting stabbed. That's the fucked up part. There used to be this big motherfucker, and he used to jack off to the Little Michael videos. When Michael Jackson be coming on the TV, he'd pull his dick right out and jack off to Michael. And, people are just trying to, like, eat dinner. And then my favorite thing about that guy is he handed me his business card. I was, like, talking to him afterwards, and he had, like, a business where it was a detailing service, but just for Lincoln Town cars.
I do not do fucking Escalade. Yeah.
Only thing I touch, Lincoln Town cars.
Dude, oh man, that reminds me of when Rollo did Funny Moms.
Yeah.
Rollo's our friend.
Rollo's one
hilarious
of the funniest comics.
And
Rollo boy,
he's definitely a comics comic. We all like.
No, he's a good comic.
No, I mean like, back of the room always loves Rollo.
Yeah, in fucking shitty alt rooms is what you're talking about.
Right. So he did our shitty alt show in
yeah.
DC, and it's all white people with clenched assholes, and he's just like talking about pink areolas and crushing.
But then again,
saying the N-word, and like everyone's just like, we love this, and he's just like,
so he's killing,
and then like all of a sudden, just midway through his set, he's like, nah, but seriously though, gay sex is disgusting. How you gonna have sex in a bathroom?
He goes, how the fuck you gonna get raped to death in a bathroom, dying of AIDS and shit?
And then you could just hear a pin drop. Just literally every single like Columbia Heights soft ass like white DC, like works at the fucking some NGO and like just silence. And then the back of the room, like all the comics are just dying.
Yeah, he's really funny.
Gay sex is gross.
But like seriously though, gay sex is disgusting. Just like, wow. How are you gonna go there, Doc? Just read the room. I used to do his rooms and just get absolute. You gave me the best advice. Like, whenever I'd work a black room in DC, I just like, they say, coming up next to the stage, Adam Friedland, and then just like there'd always be a drunk woman in the stage. I'd just be like, ooh, he looked like Harry Potter, right? And then like everyone started laughing and stuff, and I didn't know what to do, and I'd feel like really like intimidated and stuff. And the staff was just like, yo, if anyone makes fun of you, just tell them that they have a tight shirt.
Yeah,
say, like,
100% crushes every time.
Crushes every time. Look how tight this
Look
guy's
at his
shirt
little ass
is.
shirt.
Little ass shirt.
Call someone gay, say they have a little ass shirt.
Yeah.
I would always make fun of Rollo for being dark skinned. Everyone loved
Yeah.
that shit.
Oh man, Rollo hates the Warriors because they're too light skinned.
That's so funny. Yeah, he's anti light skinned people. I love it. He's
It's such a stand to take. I love it.
Well, he is pretty dark.
He's as dark as the fuck. Yeah, dude. He's dark as hell.
It's a stage name.
Rollo?
Rollo
What are we
Boykins.
What are we telling people this for?
Yeah.
That's what he used to order pizzas under when he was at Howard. That's the genesis.
Why do you need a name to order pizzas?
He used to tell the pizza guy, Rollo Boykins.
Interesting.
My friend went to GW and he had this fat piece of shit roommate, this Asian Pacific, what do they call
Pacific
it?
Islander.
APA, whatever the name they
Asian
have.
Pacific Islander.
Yeah, Asian
American
Pacific
Psychiatric,
Islander
yeah.
or whatever. He was
Samoan.
Yeah, he was like like
one of the Rock's cousins.
island Chinese. That's
yeah. He was spam Chinese.
Yeah, he was shrimp Chinese. So he goes, he was this big fat kid, but he was Catholic. And I remember one time I like crashed in their like dorm or whatever, and he was out of town, and he had a crush on was it Rachel Adams is the actress?
Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
And so above his bed, he had a poster of The Notebook on the ceiling, which is like, that's not the movie you beat off to. You don't have a crush on that actress. You know, like the one where she's in love. And that kid, so he's real fat, and I remember like my friend was telling me, so for Lent he like gave up pizza. And like the first day of Lent, they're ordering from like Manny and Olga's or whatever, and they're like, "Yo, Jesse, do you want anything?" And he was like, "Yeah, let me get a calzone." And he's like, "No, it's not a pizza."
Holy fuck,
I love people who follow really strict religions and then they're just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fool God. Like the Hasids, like I'm from Chicago, and there's like we gave Hasids an entire neighborhood, Rogers Park.
Oh yeah.
And half the people in Rogers Park are Shabbos goys, and
yeah,
and I always thought that was weird. Like, that they didn't update the rules to be like, oh yeah, pressing an elevator button is work. We've decided that for some reason, but we're gonna get around that by like hiring a Mexican kid in Birchwood in California to press the button for it. It's like, why even do
That's
it
what
then?
they do?
That's how they do.
Yeah. They do that shit here.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
On Pride last year, did I mention this? I said this.
Was there a Chabad float at Pride?
I don't think you said it on the podcast.
I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but last year at Pride, I was walking home and I walked through Pride, and there's a protest. There's a counter Pride protest. And at first it looks like they're at first it looks like they're Hasids, and I get closer and they're Mexican guys wearing the outfits. And they're holding signs, and they're these like, tired, that like 5'1" Guatemalan type where you can tell underneath the hat he's got like a faux hawk. Like those guys. I was like, what the fuck is this? This looks like Hasids just hired day laborers to protest Pride. And it didn't like make sense. It was just too absurd to make sense. Right. And then the next day I saw in like the New York Daily News or something that Hasids hired day laborers
That's
to
incredible.
go protest Pride. I guess it was, because it was Shabbos or something, or they couldn't be there, or they just didn't want to go themselves, so they hired day laborers to dress up like them and protest.
I did the opposite of that when I was a kid. There is a like
you had sex with day laborers to protest Hasids.
No, there was like a Puerto Rican Day parade in Chicago, or some type of Latino parade. And like my mom knew the person who was organizing it, but for whatever reason they couldn't locate Latino children to do it. And I was 8, and I was way darker as a kid.
I'm glad things worked out for you.
Yeah, no, it was a scare for a moment.
You prayed every day.
Yeah, thank God. But I bleached like one of the reggae singers. But
give me the asshole kind. I need the extra strong asshole kind.
But my best friend was Greek, and we were like really dark, and they paid us $20 each to lead the parade down Lakeshore Drive.
Like
we
Carly
can't trust
Fiorina's
Latino
kids.
children.
Yeah,
They're too fiery.
They'll just run off.
A soccer game might break out if we let them lead it.
Yeah, there's some real race science. They're like the Jewish and Greek brain has the European order gene and can carry the sign without straying.
Oh my God!
Did you see where? I guess we said we weren't going to talk about him anymore, but Cockfield.
No, Nick, please stop.
Fuck Adam. Go ahead.
All right. You were using his real name.
Well, we killed off the other guy. I don't want to do a cruel impression anymore, but I do want to make fun of. He's like, my girlfriend got 23andMe.
You just said you don't want to do.
I don't want to do a cruel impression.
You're addicted.
I'm doing an accurate impression. My girlfriend got me 23andMe results for my birthday.
Oh, I did see that. It's so funny.
And so he's like 96% like British and Irish or whatever. And then he's like 4% African. So he's like, here's the results, everybody. I'm 1% African, 1% Pacific Islander, 4% African, 95% who cares? So he was
and also, those, by the way, are like, that's within the margin of error.
Yeah,
that 4%. Like I was like 6% Jewish or something, and it's like It's
No, you're
total.
not.
I swear to
Jewish
God.
genes?
Yeah.
Stav immediately got on the phone and said, "What's going on with this?"
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah,
"Look, Margin of error. It's the margin of error,
my
sir."
money back.
Did you see that? There's a thing on PBS where Henry Louis Gates was doing like ancestry tests for famous black people.
I saw that.
And Oprah was sitting there. She's like, I talked to my spirits, and I know I am a Zulu. I am a Zulu warrior. I have Zulu warrior blood. And they were like, no, you're Ghanaian like every other black person in America.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, South Africa was not part of the triangle, slavery. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, Oprah? It was so funny.
Do you Quincy Jones was like more white than black, I think, too. Like,
was he?
Yeah.
I immediately burned every album he produced after that.
Yeah.
It was like, no way, buddy.
What were you gonna say, Nick?
Do you follow I found them through Haywood, but one of those like Pan-African Facebook groups.
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
Those, yeah, there was one because like 90% of the things they share, it's like be proud of your culture, be proud of your heritage, and it's like like a positive, like affirming stuff, and then 5% of them like there's nothing wrong with female genital mutilation.
They shared one meme that was like, Europeans didn't bathe before they discovered Africans or something. It was like they learned bathing from it was like going into water. Like you think that didn't come up at some point?
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, there's like a bunch of sites like that claim basically every single invention was actually made in Africa, like 3,000 years ago.
Who are those Who are those
The Black Israelites?
Black Israelites, outside the Gallery Place Metro Station?
Yeah, they're great. So they think that white people were created by an evil scientist named Jacob that invented white people in his lab by accident.
Wait a second.
Well, that differ. Like the Nation of Islam Nation of Islam follows the same shit, where the evil scientist Yaqub used germs from black people to create white people, but in the Black Israelite version, he does it by accident. It's like the Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops!
Buddy Love.
Wait,
Which is funny because they all look like the Clumps. All of those guys.
Hercules. There was wait, this is true? Like this a scientist? It's like a
That's what they believe.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
They really believe that. Yeah, scientists.
And the Nation of Islam.
Nation of
thinks that
Islam
too?
believes some like really cool shit. Like
Oh,
they.
man.
What's Farrakhan? Is he still active? Like,
Yeah, dude, he's still doing his thing.
I saw a video with him and Young Thug, and it was like really powerful. Actually,
Really?
Yeah, Young Thug was like, "It's so amazing to meet you." He's
Farrakhan
like,
would really like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd love me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It would be like,
What's with the bow ties? What's the deal with the bow ties?
they look pretty cool.
Yeah, but there's got to be a reason to
I
wear.
actually don't know. I know like most of the Nation of Islam stuff because it's big in Chicago. Like they eat navy bean pies because that's supposed to make you live till 150.
Hell yeah.
But the bow ties is probably something so like Waleed Muhammad or someone was like, I think they look good.
Right.
And then like usually there's a reason for shit. Like you notice that no Iranians wear neckties and because they think ties are a symbol of Western imperialism.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
I thought it was they just like showing off chest hair.
yeah.
well, that we have the same
And gold
reason. Me and the
chains.
Iranians.
Yeah.
But no, I think the bow tie, like the founder wore them or something. Everything else has like a cool reason behind it. Like the 9,000 years ago, some guy invented white people or a spaceship showed up. With the
So
bow ties,
awesome.
they're like, we just like them.
Yeah.
It's just swag. Yeah.
Look
That's
cool.
like I was
They do
trying
look
to-
good.
I was reading. Do you know the story with the Hasids? Why they dress like that?
Well, basically, they when the Jews like left the Pale of settlement, like in Eastern Europe, that was like Eastern Europe style. And then once they left, they basically stopped evolving their style, so they just kept dressing like that.
So everyone dressed like that at some point.
Well, in their particular yeshivas, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
like that's one yeshiva had like the circle hats, one yeshiva had like payas, one
Did I tell that story on the podcast about that guy at that Halloween party?
I think you did.
that we were at.
Wait, no.
Remember that guy at that Halloween party we were at?
But didn't you tell us on the podcast?
I don't think
know.
you did.
I don't
Not
remember.
when I was there.
Yeah, we were at that Halloween party with those giant M&Ms. We were listening to Fleetwood Mac.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when we met up with Tommy, and then he was in the bathroom for like 4.5 hours.
Oh yeah. Do you have a blow guy?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh holy shit.
We were trying to
oh
find-
my god, dude, that's so funny. This is a completely separate story, but we were trying to find coke. And I went up to our friend Tommy, my friend Tommy, and he's sitting there, and I was like, "Hey, do you got a blow guy?" And I said that to him, and it was like kind of loud where we at. So he like reflects for a half second. He's like, "Nah, but I fucked a tranny once." And I was like, "What?" And he was like,
Did I ever blow a guy?
Yeah, he's like, "You asked me if I ever blew a guy?" And I was like, "No." I said, "Do you have a blow guy?" But why is that your response?
On the spectrum of gay stuff, that is closer to being gay than being straight.
I guess. Yeah, he told a great story about like following this
after a show in Philly.
Yeah, he like bought a prostitute or whatever, and she was like blowing him, and then
I thought he just met a woman at Helium. And
no. I think he like bought a prostitute, or that's what the story is, and then he's like, it's his story to tell, so I don't want to tell it. He's got a career now, so
Yeah.
But
You can say his name.
But yeah, no, that was a funny interaction. But no, the guy at the party, at the Halloween party, when he's talking about those big circular hats that the Hasids wear. And he's like
those ottomans.
Yeah, those like big ottomans, the big IKEA ottomans. And he's like, yeah, dude. One of my friends actually, he got one of those. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, he's riding his bike and he managed to like get one. And I was like, what do you mean he stole it?
Cost like $6,000.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah, he got arrested for like grand larceny or something.
Yeah.
Because they caught him. Because like you can't just be the guy wearing
the
that.
one guy. Have you seen pictures
And then a fucking
of
Odd
Shine
Future
recently?
shirt.
Do you know Shine, the rapper that got arrested with Diddy?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's a Hasidic Jew now, and he's like wearing it's called a strimel.
Yeah.
And he's
Oh,
like
that's
wearing one.
that's what they're called.
He like
They cost
decided.
$6,000.
Yeah, dude, they're super expensive.
they're
It's like
super
otter
expensive.
fur.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. I don't even know where you get otters. It's like young
ask
boys.
Stop.
It's actually young boys.
Well, Stav's
that
more of
they-
a bear, but
Yeah. Well, he's got like a cub thing because he's hairless.
He's
So
a cub.
that's-
I'm a cub.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Yeah.
Actually, it's more walrus because the
Cub.
Cub is like
Cub,
cub
fuck
is
you.
like a small but still hairy bear type. If you're large and hairless, it's walrus.
I'm
I
not
think,
a walrus.
or
bitch.
manatee.
I'm a cub. Cubs are cuter.
I don't know. I would go walrus. They have a. There's no way
I don't
they
have
haven't
a-
figured
They
this
need
out.
more animals.
I don't have a tusk.
I mean,
Nah,
this is like a body acceptance thing.
Yeah,
you're
Look,
right.
People aren't just bears or cubs.
Yeah.
Gays
It's
are
like
the
a-
original body acceptance people. They'll
Absolutely.
fetishize anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
There's that stereotype like, oh, all gay guys are in shape, and it's like, no, just the ones you secretly jack off to.
Just the ones in your movies.
Yeah.
My friend, there was this dude in college that was like, his whole persona was he was a total alpha.
Hell
He was
yeah.
like a Long Island, Nassau County Jewish, like fucking blowout. Looked like a Jersey Shore Guido.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend, it was always strange because he had a Leonidas from
Hell yeah.
300 poster of just this jacked ass Gerard Butler, like
Yeah.
6 feet tall in his bedroom.
Nice.
We were like, why does Brian have that in his room?
Dude,
and
it's
then
motivation,
my
dude.
friend, for some reason, who was his roommate, like took his laptop to go on Pornhub, and then like saw the last 10 searches. It was like guy kisses guy for first time.
That's totally fucking closeted
Straight guy fucks straight guy.
I
Two
do love
straight
that.
guys fuck.
I think that's what all like motivation shit is. Like
Oh,
whenever
yeah,
you go
yeah.
to YouTube and it's like motivation of Phil Heath. And it's just like no, that's just like people are jacking off to that.
You're
Yeah,
a closet
for
kid.
sure.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, like I obsessively watch MMA and have for years, and like it's
Oh,
the big
200.
thing is like watch the weigh-ins where they like get naked and almost like get so close to each other they kiss each other,
so
and you're like, oh dude, I can't wait.
You said
I made a-
weigh-in, and I thought you said weigh-ins, like the weigh-in brothers.
Yeah, when the Wayans brothers
Yeah,
come down to the octagon.
Keenan Ivory, Damien.
Yeah.
David.
How many are there? There's like
some of those
them.
guys are definitely gay, by the way.
Of the
Just
Wayans
by
brothers?
law of
For sure.
averages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
They're so
Of the
homophobic.
Wayans brothers?
Damon Wayans is so homophobic.
How about
Did you
this,
hear
guys?
Norm
How
talk
about
shit
this?
about him?
The
About
Gayans
Keenan
brothers.
Ivory.
No.
What'd he say?
Norm was or Jeselnik. Jeselnik
By the
was
way,
talking
Nick,
shit.
great.
Thanks,
Gayans
man.
brothers,
Thank
really
you.
good.
Sorry, I wanted to get
Yeah.
that one in there before.
I
you
missed
started
it.
the story.
Sorry, I was talking
I said
over you.
Gayans brothers.
Oh,
That's good.
they are going to be feeling that one in the morning.
That's a switch. That's a switch.
What were you saying? The Norm?
Jeselnik was just
or
saying
Jeselnik?
that like Keenan Ivory Wayans, when he was a judge on Last Comic, was the absolute biggest piece of shit
Of course, dude.
that he's like ever worked with.
I could see that.
He's like I've never hated anyone in comedy more than. All right, I just talk shit about someone secondhand.
Yeah.
So if you have a problem, Keenan Ivory, you can come on the pod.
Yeah, we'll squash it.
Yeah, we're big.
We're big squashers.
Big,
What happened to Simon
living
from
color.
American Idol? What's he doing now?
He went on another one.
Oh,
he
he's on
fucked
another one?
He fucked someone's wife or something. He stole like his friend's wife or something.
He's one of those
Like
like
Simon?
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense because you like just assume most British guys are gay,
Yeah, of course.
and then they're like
49%.
actually cool, you know?
Yeah.
They're like a cool alpha
Well,
type.
Statham, not
Yeah.
gay.
Well, of
Let's
course.
be honest,
Yeah,
guys.
of course not.
Jack-
I mean,
Well,
that's why they
British.
brought him to America.
Yeah.
To
To
They were
fix
waiting
British.
for a non-gay British man.
Yeah, they should make a Statham movie where he solves Brexit with karate. We're gonna bring the country back together.
I'm bold.
Yeah, I'm bold.
I'm
I don't have
bold.
any hair.
I
and
got
I
no
don't
hair.
need it.
I hate Chinese and I'm gay.
I'm gay.
I'm gay.
racist.
I hate Chinese and I got no hair.
What was the genesis of that? The we were doing?
We were just walking around Greenpoint.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, we're out of time. We're done.
Yeah, we should probably-
we've filled our contractual obligation to the people that donated $97.
Is that what we're pulling
Keep-
in?
Yeah.
Yo,
Keep
shout
throwing money.
out to my friend Max, who's a listener, who's buying us the tracksuits.
Yeah,
It's
Max,
unbelievable.
thank you for the tracksuits. We're getting
We'll
Cum
suck you
Boys
off, Max.
tracksuits.
Yeah.
Well, I don't
Adidas.
agree. Stav will suck you off.
Adam will suck you off, man.
You guys,
not
you just
sucking
got the shout out, the podcast shout out.
Yeah.
This is big.
And then thank you, Felix, for joining
Felix,
us.
My
thank
pleasure.
you very much.
His
Thanks for
presence
having us.
alone on that. We got two big gets for this one,
That's
guys.
good,
So
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of people are gonna listen to this, seeing the names, expecting.
Are we gonna do
well,
a
most
mashup?
people are not going to make it to the first half.
Are we gonna go on?
Yeah,
Most people
probably.
are
Are we
going
gonna
to
make?
turn this
Are we
first
gonna
half
do
off.
Chapo mashup?
We would love to have you guys on Chapo.
Hell yeah.
I've been
Wanna-
practicing my Slavoj Žižek impression.
Will
for you
does a
guys.
great impression of you.
Oh, of me?
Yeah, yeah.
What? What does it sound like?
I mean, it sounds like you. I don't know.
Oh,
I can't
okay.
do it. I
It
can't
sounds
do
like
an
really
Adam.
gay and like a
Yeah.
bitch.
He's like, I'm Adam. I'm a bitch.
I mean, like, you shouldn't say that so much. On the podcast.
Shabbat shalom, boys.
Shabbat
I
shalom,
fucking
boys.
Chinese girls.
Have you ever counted?
Where are the shekel prostitutes?
$25. I can't pass that.
Oh boy, that's too much.
I'm only capable of doing Dickfield. Me and Stav are joking, like, but so like I don't want to do the sound effects or whatever, so I'm not actually gonna do it. But like there's like lightning or something, and a portal opens. And
No,
then-
dude, save it. We got to do this.
Oh, all right,
Yeah. We're doing it.
all right.
Little
well, okay.
teaser, guys.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You're gonna really
that's
like
a little
it.
behind the scenes. This is what happens when you go past the fucking 40-minute mark on the second half.
Hell yeah.
We start breaking the fourth wall.
It's been a
You
fun
know?
one.
But yeah, it was a good one, guys. Thanks for listening. I don't know. We don't have anything planned. But
Yeah,
we'll do
no,
something fun
we
soon.
should do that mashup though.
For sure.
Yeah, we would fucking love to do that.
We want to
Nice.
use. What'd you
Bobby's
see
in
about?
Aruba, so
Yeah,
but when he gets back, I'll
Bobby
talk to
Kelly
him.
might let us use his studio to
Ooh.
do that,
I'll talk to him.
which
about
is like
My father.
it's sort of like a second-rate Anthony Cumia studio.
It's above.
Matt, if you are
Hey,
listening, buy a fucking plane
Do
ticket.
not talk shit
we'll bring
on
Matt up here.
YKWd Studios.
Matt doesn't live here.
No, Matt lives in Cleveland, but
Oh, wow.
he can just come out. He came
They-
up for the live show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
oh,
can
nice.
Skype him in too.
Yeah.
I mean, they got
Totally.
this Indian kid there that knows how all the computers work.
Oh, and if you're in New York, we have a live show in the works for August.
Ooh.
Just so you know. Come
Oh yeah, and
through.
I do. If you guys are cool with it, I want to plug the Chapo live show.
Please, of course,
on
please.
July 28th in Philadelphia at Everybody Hits. And yes, due to the name, it is a group sex event. We are running a train, running the Acela on these thotties.
Hell yeah, bro.
Well, we
Oh,
got
yeah.
we got the venue that we're doing is Come On Everybody for Cum Town. So
Ooh.
Is that the name of the venue?
it's Come On Everybody, but for us it's Come On.
Oh
Everybody.
yeah. I
That's
love
perfect.
It. I love it, dude.
Well, we saved that one. We saved.
Yeah,
the
that was great.
episode.
This was really fun.
Yeah,
And pretty funny.
Thanks everybody.
Thanks for
Great.
getting jerked
Bye.
off, Adam.
Like,